Hello everyone, Xandero Gaming coming at y'all with another video, and in today's video we are going to do our locals gameplay video commentary. This is actually from the weekend before this past weekend, so I am currently 2 weeks behind, but I'll get this video uploaded and then the one from this past weekend uploaded as well. But this is one we had the weekend before. In the first round we are going to have Kurapika, myself, on the left hand side playing, and then on the right we are going to have one of our guys from the locals playing a blue JJK deck. The blue JJK deck is still in an amazing spot in this game. I think definitely being what most people consider to be, you know, the best game deck in the game. On the right, he is deciding to just play down a Nobara and draw one and trash one. Probably just a little hard choice here, but he is going to drop out that Yuji. He does tell me that he hates that Yuji, so he dropped them out here. But I think he has another one in his hand, so not gonna miss it too much. And then on the left, myself, I am also going to play a Zeppa, which lets me draw one, trash one. And I have a hard time trashing something here because my thought process in the game was my hand isn't amazing and I need to trash some of these cards that don't help me right now, because as much as I want that Kurapika in my hand, and then you'll see me trash a special trigger is here as well, if I don't ever get into a state where I'm playing my Kurapikas out, there's no point in having those cards in my hand. So I chose to trash those cards to give me a little bit more consistency to start out the game. But I am set up nice with 2 energy. He is going to do the bounce Nobara. That's going to let him bounce this Nobara back to his hand, and he can replay it later in the game to get another draw. I am just going to play down the Kurapika. That gets the impact if you have the energy generation, and then the double energy generation Kurapika, that I think that's the one that goes to 4K if you're at 6, and then the other guy gets the impact if you have someone with 5,000 or more. So I do have a good setup of Kurapikas down. He is going to have to put some bodies on the board if he doesn't want to take any damage this upcoming turn, probably. Wow, y'all, we are going to see a Raid Sukuna off the rip here really early in the game. Turn 3, being able to apply a lot of pressure, is going to get to draw one and trash one. Sorry about the glare on that side of the table. I'll have to see what I can do to reduce that glare in the future. But he swings in here and just hits the Kurapika. A nice alt art of that card. Really, really cool. I am just going to decide to move up the Kurapika in the Zep pile, play a double energy Kurapika on the back line, and then play the double energy generation Leorio on the back line, and then play my special trigger on my Kurapika, which will give it the 3000 DP and then also let you snipe. And then since now that I have a 5000, that Kurapika will get itself a boost to get impact, and then he also lets me draw a card from the special trigger going off. If it kills something in battle, you get to draw a card. So a really perfect answer, to be honest, on my side. Very lucky to, you know, have him play out that Sukuna so early, and then me being able to punish him for it. You know, not a lot of you know, if you play down a Sukuna, you are getting your cycle, so he got the value of the Sukuna and he did get a check-in, so it was definitely worth it. But maybe just thinking an aspect that he would have blocked with the Sukuna. But either way, not good for him that I was able to answer his 4K on turn 3. So both of us really getting pretty decent starts to the game on our 3 action point turns. This is his 4th turn. Going to play the Nobara to draw one and trash one. Gonna have to play this up on the front line. He is setting to the side eye card, so that helps us be able to see that that is probably a finger. So he does have one finger. He is going to play down a shrine here, which is really, really scary for me because it gives him the potential to eventually maybe get enough BP on his characters now to match my 5K. And then if he can get the impact and snipe, that card gets really, really dangerous for sure. He is going to domain expansion to go back up to 2 action points. And we can see he's got a pretty decent hand here. He's got another Sukuna, a Yuji, a Divergent Fist. He's doing a good job of letting us be able to see these cards on the camera. A lot of the players, a lot of us are just not too used to doing the camera stuff too much, but he is going to get a Yuji, which is going to bounce my Kurapika back to my hand, which is a little bit unfortunate because that Kurapika getting the impact really is so strong. But going to swing in here with the UG. I do decide to take the UG to hand. That is the Leorio. I think that one is an active trigger, so it doesn't come up for us here. So that was 2 active triggers actually on the first 2 checks. So unfortunate that we didn't have a body out that block to let us be able to use those. But just going to move up the Zep pile here. Going to play down a Kurapika and then raid a Kurapika because that Kurapika did put us up to 7 energy. Probably just stating the fact that I'm going to give the Kurapika snipe. So once again, really unfortunate for the Blue JK player that I was able to, you know, see another answer to his board, right? Kurapika is really good at playing reactive to your opponent. You let them put their big bodies on the board where their 4Ks are usually safe, and then Kurapika then lets you snipe impact over them. I'm going to swing the Zep pile. He's going to take this one. Is going to get 2 Sukunas to his hand. Going to block with the Nobara here, and as long as he can get his energy set up, we know that he has plenty of Sukunas in his hand, so he may be able to answer our board here. He does have the 4 energy generation. I don't see another domain expansion, so he's not going to be able to press his turn really hard here. Is going to do the double action point for the UG probably here, so that way he can you know, balance one of our characters. I think he does have to do this, that way he can, you know, guarantee to get rid of probably 2 bodies on this turn, bounce a Zep pile, and then probably bounce another Zep pile back to my hand here. But choosing to just go into the Sukuna, which is really good here because now it's going to tap down my Kurapika, and I will not be able to block the Sukuna, so he's probably going to get some damage here unless I decide to block with the Zep pile. I do have lethal on the board for next turn, so I don't block with the Zep pile, and I do hit 3 active triggers in a row here. Very fortunate. The first 2 being duds, not touching any bodies, but this one being able to give me my Kurapika back here is absolutely key because I should be able, you know, to get some damage in because Kurapika does keep his impact, which is really important. Definitely, maybe a safer play would have been to play the UG to bounce the Zep pile back to hand, but you can't know that you're going to hit an active trigger, right? He thought he was going to have me tap down, and then I would only be able to move up 3 characters for the 3 swings. So a little unfortunate for him there that I was able to get this Kurapika back, but maybe he might hit something fortunate in his life. Just choosing to move up the characters and play the double Zep pile on the energy line to draw 1, trash 1. I am going to trash another final trigger here. So you see I've trashed really good cards out of my hand, but just choosing to decide the way to trash those cards because you just want to get into your Kurapikas as fast as possible, and Kurapika really is the main card. If it means trashing a special or final trigger, I guess deciding here if I want to use the kill spell in my hand, and I think that I do decide to do it so that way I can give this one impact just in case there is a final trigger or you know, a special trigger. He would have to take out one of my other characters. That Kurapika does not have impact, so now I'll guarantee, you know, snipe that body and then now swing in with this Kurapika, and I was able to draw a card from that other attack going through there. Just a draw trigger on the finger here. Going to swing with the Melody on now the Zep pile getting the last swing in. So a nice game back and forth. Really unfortunate from him that I was able to answer his board. But going into round 2, we do have our Hashira player. He is definitely the best Hashira player that I know. He does so well with this deck. He is topping the leaderboards throughout all of these videos that you see for our locals at Omni Cards Collectibles and Gaming. He is the same Hashira player, and he is on top of the leaderboards at our locals. We do a point system. First gets you 3, second gets you 2, and third gets you 1. He does start off with his favorite play, which is putting this Love Hashira on the front line because she poses a big problem being able to pay the 1 action point and swing in 4K because you're not really going to want to, you know, put something out there for her to kill and block. But I think in most instances, if a Hashira player does this to you, you just take the damage that she's going to be putting out, because if she's only swinging 1 a turn, that means you are hopefully getting some value out of your life. So he was able to get a pretty good energy start here, being able to play the Love Hashira that bounces, and I choose not to move anything up because I know that he loves to kill out my bodies when I play them, and he has a lot of ways to do it. So against Hashira decks, do not put anything out on the front line that you do not want to lose, because they have very multiple different means of play to be able to get rid of your bodies. So you can see the value of this Love Hashira already. She's already gotten 2 swings in. I was not moving anything up to take those, but I did get value in my hand, getting a get trigger and then also a kurapika. And I am at 2, 4, 5, only 6 energy at the moment, so I'm going to have to do something to give myself the 7 energy play. He does know that I have the kurapika because he hit it in live. You know, really unfortunate for me too is that he has that double blocker on the board too. So my snipe, I'm probably not gonna snipe the Miss Conroji, but she is really good because that double blocker is a problem. That is like really one of the most scary cards in the deck. I am going to play Neon Gaming here, which is going to let me be able to put a kurapika on the board, and then when the kurapika is played, I look at the top card. I either add it to the top or bottom of the deck. I don't show the camera what this one is. I'll try to get everyone a little bit more aware of, like, maybe trying to show the camera the card so we can, you know, just see everyone's plays a little bit more. But I do play the kurapika now because we do have the double energy from the Neon. I do have to choose to sniper impact over the double blocker, and he does see a special trigger to get rid of the other kurapika who does have impact. So very unfortunate for me that the special trigger does take out the kurapika here. He is going to play down the Wind Hashira, which is the double attacker, and then just playing out the Water Hashira. And his deck is so beautiful to see play because it's so pretty with all the different colors. And then he is just swinging in with the wind. I do choose to chump block with the Gone here because he doesn't really provide me with a lot of value. I think not taking my life down below 5 is essential against this deck, knowing that he has that double blocker or the double attacker on his backline now. Just going to play a kurapika on the backline so that way I can raid into another kurapika. So very fortunate that I am able to see kurapikas on back-to-back plays, but he knows that I added that one for my life to my hand. One more energy left, just going to play another kurapika to the front line to give me another 4K blocker, because at the moment he's going to have to pay some AP if he wants to get over my kurapikas. And then I am just going to swing in with another kurapika here. Nothing in the trigger there, but I do see another Hashira. And then this is the play that particular trigger in life there was definitely a misplay. We both talked about it afterwards. He was a little confused, I think, about what his special trigger does in life, because on the field he can only hit a 4K, and he's used to doing that, right? And so he wasn't aware that he could hit the kurapika, and neither was I. I just thought he hit that one because he didn't want to have to keep taking the damage or risk me raiding on top of another one and just deal with the ones that are on board. But that was definitely a misplay on his end, and we definitely talked about it. So we both learned a lot from it, because he did choose to get rid of that kurapika. Not in a good spot here for me with all these bodies on the board, and he does have 4 life, but I do have the bigger body, and this is where kurapika can, you know, come in clutch, being able to, you know, just wall out your opponents. I do see another kurapika. Very fortunate here that I'm able to see 3 of these kurapikas in this game so early, because, you know, I'm not even halfway through my deck at this moment. Less cycle in this game than in my first game. I do have to put the Gone up there because I have to provide another body. Unfortunate that I have to go over the double attacker here, but I need to do it so I don't take all this damage next turn. He does give me the other check here, not wanting to lose a body, but I will have to block out responsibly. He's just going to pay the AP to draw a card and then play down 2 more bodies on the board. He is going to use the Insect Hashira to minus the DP of my kurapika. I am going to just have to take this check, nothing in there to do. And I think that I just take this check too. I would assume so, because then I definitely just still have game next turn. But touching back on those previous plays too, he was able to kill one of my kurapikas off of his Love Hashira effect, being able to neg the TP. But I do choose to take it here and then just get the active trigger on my kurapika, which is fortunate for me. It doesn't change too much because he did not tap it down with any effects that said it couldn't unsuspend. Trying to just play this out. I do have the double impact, but he does not have a nullify impact, I don't think, on the board. I really can't tell. I always forget which one's the nullify impact. There's so much text on these Hashira cards. You definitely have to read them to make sure you do the plays the right way. I'm just gonna, you know, play this out, cycle with a Zepile. Just set up my energy line just in case I do see something crazy in this life. My kurapika does have impact, and so he chooses not to block both of those, knowing that he would have to have something in his life to keep him alive there. Going into the third and final round, I did want to talk about this a little bit. I only have half the footage of this one because, like I said, I was trying to run this tournament, or run the camera at the tournament. My brother was actually running the shop this day, but I forgot to start the camera until halfway through of this. But in the first couple turns of the game, we both start out with energy. No one missed any energy drops. We both, I think, drew a couple times off our AP. We both established pretty decent boards. I will say the one note of play that I wish I would have caught on here is that I did hit, 3 color triggers for red in life in this game. 3 in a row, actually. And they all, or it was either 2 color triggers and a special. I know I died on my first 3 checks. Red's color trigger gets picked on a lot because a lot of people think that it's not a good trigger. But early in the game, if your opponent is swinging on turn 2 or 3, a lot of times they are going to have that first character they played, right? So I learned a lot from this because now going forward, I will definitely try to, swing with my little bodies first when I play against red, so that way that color trigger doesn't get me. I know everyone always picks on red's color trigger thinking it's not good, but it is definitely powerful because it keeps this game into a very evenly matched game, whereas I think I would have just ran him over in this game if it had not been for that case because, like I said, yeah, I did hit 3 checks, 2 colors, and a special, and then on following turns, I played out kurapika to kill his board, and he played special triggers back to back on his turn. So those are definitely what kept these this particular match a very, very close one, and a really good show and tell from what the decks can do. I think that Garou is in a really, really good spot in the meta, being able to get the impact, get the DP boost, and he really does have one of the best kill spells, being able to give himself the protection from your opponent's special triggers as well. So anytime that you go to swing in with Garou, a lot of times that you're going to be okay. I will say that I think that one thing Garou can struggle with is just, any BPs that are higher than his at the start, which Kurapika is, 5,000, but I think by the most of the time that you get into an instance where you have the big Garou out at the 6 energy, you should hopefully be at the coveted 15 cards in your trash. But I will get us into this game. Sorry for talking so much about it, but I did want to get everyone caught up on the situation of what the game was in. This is near the end of the game. He's on some of his last turns. You can see he had to block out some bodies. I did play some special triggers on the previous play. I played a special trigger so I could snipe over his Garou. And he has been able to search a lot and draw a lot of cards. You can see he barely has any cards left in his deck. He is at 10 in the sideline. This was a very long back and forth game. Since this one we didn't get to see a lot of the footage, I did not speed this one up very much. All the other games I usually speed up by 1.5 to 1.75 times. I think that this one I either have at normal speed or it's just +1. Either way, really slow. Y'all will just get to hear me talk about the game a little bit. He is in a tough spot where he does have to think about what he wants to do to try to stay alive in this game. He does use the, I think that's the Hero Almanac, or it just lets him draw a card. And then now he's just going to play the kill spell on my Kurapika. It was the 6 spell, like the 3 colors, and the 3 special triggers. What he hit me with here is going to choose to, swing it with this Garou, which lets him either add it to his sideline or to his hand. He chooses not to do so, excuse me, being a card he probably wants to keep. I am able to block one of the Garous, and then unfortunately do see a special trigger in life. Now I am just thinking about what I want to do, trying to recollect this game. The beginning of the game was definitely the most intense part, like I said, back and forth. It was definitely the most fun game I had all day. Maybe showed a little frustration to him about all those color triggers I hit, but we were both just laughing about it because it's really not often. I keep saying it over and over again, but so many people pick on red's color trigger. We're both just thinking about it here. I think we're both just saying the fact that, that Kurapika, I think, just helps me try to get over him with the impact, since I do have the energy for it. But I do have to try and wall him out. He does say that I get to use the when played effect again to look at the top of my life if I want to, but I know what the card is, so I'm not going to do it again, even though now that I played the kill spell, I do get to snipe impact over him and draw a card, but definitely not out of the woods here. This is still a really, really close game. He unfortunately does not have any of his big garous because, like I said, every time that he played the big garous, I was able to kurapika them. And then any time that I kurapika'd, he was able to special trigger me like how you saw there. So definitely a game of both decks seeing all their outs that they needed to keep it a good long game. This was definitely the longest game of the day. I think we're the last two playing at this point as well. You know, Union Reason games usually go pretty quick. He is going to move up the that special art garou that is a beefy boy, and then just choosing to either play the garou on the back line or front line. Looking like his energy generation isn't that great to play anything else in his hand, so having to leave the 2 action points up. So he probably should have drawn a card, but swinging in here, I do have to block so I don't lose the game, and then my other 2 kurapikas are strong enough to block out these garous. And he does have 4 characters on the board. I have no life, so I think that I'm in a position here where I just have to try and win this game at any means possible on this turn. I don't see a way where I can, you know, not win this turn and not win the game, because he would definitely just come back and kill me with this garous. So like I said, I'll try to do a better job of showing my hand to the camera and try to have other people do it as well. But we can see here that I have a kurapika in hand, a gone in hand it looks like. These 2 kurapikas do have impact on them. I am going to move up the Leorio. I am still at 6 energy on my back line. So this is the key card in the game right here, Neon Gaming. We are going for it, trying to see if we can get anything out. And I do hit a kurapika, which is the one that says if you have the 5,000 or more, you get the impact. So he's just going to assume that I probably have a way to boost it here. He has 4 characters. I do have multiple instances of impact. He does have a nullify impact on the board, the card that is in between the 2 garous there. I don't remember the card name, but it is a nullify impact, right? And we can see here that I do have the kurapika in hand, so we are going to raid on top of that kurapika. And we were both just talking about it here, and I'm telling him that I could choose to snipe here, but I think that that would have lost me the game, because then he would be able to nullify impact on one of my other guys. One thing to note is kurapika does also have another effect, which says when raided, you could suspend one of your opponent's characters, which only comes up usually if you raid him defensively from your life. It doesn't come up a lot, so I do choose to just tap down the nullify impact. He chooses not to block this one, hoping for a special trigger of some sorts. Going to swing in with the kurapika here, going to leave it on the top. I do have impact, so he just has to hope for something. And you see here, it was another color trigger in life. Luckily enough, that Leorio is 3,000, enough to keep me in the game. And then he just loses without another cool card to save him there. Definitely the really good back and forth game, but that is our locals. I am doing a locals online tournament today at 7. I will leave a link in the description of the video to the challenge site to sign up if you guys are interested. I am looking to get more into, you know, helping build the community for Union Arena. I want to start trying to host webcam events as well. We do a good job at the card shop getting the people into the game, but I do want to, you know, make my presence more known around the community and, you know, meet more of you and play more games. So if you are looking for a chance to play tonight outside of the Eggman event, if you did not make it in, then you should definitely come and hang out with us tonight. We're going to be playing some Union Arena. It'll be a lot of fun, but please leave the video a like, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everybody. Peace.